Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Women Bluff to Test Your Strength. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times women are doing things and saying things and watching your reactions in order to determine what you're made of. In other words, she wants to know, do you really believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth? Or are you just using some kind of technique? Or are you inauthentic? Or will you change your opinion to match hers? Those are the things that she's looking for. All women test. Women test you the moment they meet you. They test you when you're on your first date. They test you when you've been together for 6 months. They test you when you've been together for 6 years. And they also test all of their male acquaintances and male friends. Why? They can't help it. They're just kind of a little mischievous that way, I guess, sometimes. But the point is that all women are going to be most attractive, or attracted, I should say, to the most dominant men. And the most dominant men are easy to spot. And when you look at, like, if you want to land a woman who's a total 10, techniques are great, but the problem with techniques is that you have to use logic and reason. You kind of have to be in your head to use them instead of being in the moment. And I don't know if you've ever watched a lying-ass politician. It's like they're pretty much all a bunch of fucking liars. Doesn't matter who they are, what party they're from. You can always tell when they're telling a bullshit lie, which is pretty much most of the time if their lips are moving, because they're like kind of stuttering and stammering, and you can tell they're kind of thinking about what they have to say. And so when they get asked questions in news conferences, it never comes off as being authentic. It comes off as some politically correct bullshit answer that's totally inauthentic and probably 1,000 times removed from what the actual real truth it is. And so if you're standing there and you're talking to a woman that you like and you're trying to gauge whether she's interested in you or not, and you get into your head and start using logic and reason, you're going to lose her. You're going to communicate that you don't know how to flirt and how to play. Because all dominant males, alpha males, know how to do this behavior. They know how to interact with and banter with women. They understand women. And they also can tell when a woman is about to test them or is in the process of testing them. And it's like me, when I catch either a girlfriend or a woman that I'm friends with messing with me or testing me on something, because what they'll do is they'll take positions that are totally counter to what you believe or what you just said, even though the opposite position that they've taken, they know it's BS, but they're doing it to see how you react, how you handle yourself. Most guys that don't understand that women test at all, they get into logic and reason and start trying to win an argument or trying to win their point of view, instead of realizing she's just testing his strength to see what he's made of, to see if he gets it, to see if he knows how to play and knows what she's trying to do. I mean, look at it this way. How would you treat a bratty little sister? Have you ever watched, I don't know if you didn't have a sister, hopefully you know some women that you're friends with that, or at least maybe you have a friend who had a little bratty little sister and you used to watch the two of them interact. They're always messing with each other. She'll say something, he'll challenge her on it. He'll say something, she'll challenge him on it. And dare to get him to show that he really means what he says. And that's what a woman is doing, is she's sizing you up. And for most guys, when they ask women for dating advice, or they ask a question about a relationship topic and she'll give them an answer and it really doesn't make much sense, a lot of times, the women, because they're trying to protect people's feelings, they're not going to come right out and tell you the real truth. And so they'll leave it up to you to figure out on your own. And that's why if you ever get dating advice from a woman, you always have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because they can't help but always be testing the strength of the guys that they're talking to. And if they're friends with a guy, they're going to want to mess with them. It's like, why not? It's just the way they are. It's how, I mean, you look at really super beautiful women. If you want to get a woman who's a total 10, you got to become really good at interacting with the 4s and the 5s. Why? Because with the woman who's an alpha female, who's successful, who she's in great shape, she takes care of herself, she's very successful, she gets approached constantly. And so she has to be quicker and better than your average woman at sizing a guy up, trying to determine if he gets it or not, and then rejecting him quickly if he doesn't. Because otherwise she'd never get anything done in her life. And so, because beautiful women get approached so much and they're just so used to quickly getting rid of guys, you got to be on your toes, and there's very few things you can do wrong before she sizes you up and says, he's weak, he's fucking pussy, he doesn't get it. And then she's already looking for the next guy, and you're done, you lost. And the key is you got to practice. Like I say all the time, repetition is the mother of skill. And I'll give you an example. Recently, I was chatting on Twitter with a woman who was challenging me on an article that I had written a while back, and that I had posted recently when I was discussing it with one of my other Twitter followers. And it was basically, the article talked about how not only do women like to chase you, but they prefer it that way. And I could tell she's a very confident woman, used to getting what she wants with men. And so she challenged me, and she says, I've never had to chase men in my life. And, I hear this, and I'm like, whatever. And so I respond, I'm like, that's total BS. So are you telling me that you don't go out of your way to let guys that you like romantically know that you have interest in? You're telling me you've never gone out of your way to let a guy know that you like him? And, I asked her that initially, and of course she didn't answer the question right away. She dodged the question, and then she asked me something else, changed the subject. And I stuck to my guns because I know what the answer is. And then she finally admits, well, of course she'll let a guy, if she really likes a guy, she'll let him know that she's interested. The point being is she just said in one breath a minute ago, I never chase a guy. I never do anything to let a guy know that I like him or that I want him. I would never do anything like that. And another thing she said, I like it when a guy calls me constantly, and that's how he lets me know that he's into me. And I know that's total fucking BS. And it's like, if you don't believe me, then call a girl. If you got a woman in your life that you just met, you really, really, really like, call her continuously, blow up her phone, and see how quickly she rejects you or calls you in, reports you as a stalker to the police. And so it's like, those are the types of things. They know it's BS, but they want to see if you know what you're talking about, if you really mean what you say. Because what happens, the average male that doesn't get it with women, when they say something, maybe they heard it or maybe they're not sure of it, and she challenges him on it, usually what will happen is they'll back up, they'll backpedal, and they'll go, well, I really didn't mean it that way, because they're worried, they're seeking her approval. And that's why women bluff to test it, because they want to get through the bullshit. They want to know right away that just through one or two questions, bantering back and forth, do you get it? Do you know how to play? Do you know that love is playful and fun? Do you know not to be so serious, but just to be in the moment? That's what they're trying to get to. Because if you don't get it, they want to reject you and get you on down the road. If it's a girl that she's just messing with you because it just further reinforces her belief and the fact, unfortunately, that most guys have absolutely no idea when it comes to checking this out. So this is really a really super important thing to understand with women, is that they'll bluff to test you. And so the key is that you have to know who you are. You have to know what you believe, and you got to be comfortable in your own skin being yourself. Because if you're not, and you're just trying to use some of the techniques that are in my book or that are on my website, you're still going to get rejected. You have to have a strong internal constitution and belief in yourself and who you are. And you have to be willing to stand your ground, even if your friends or a woman that you're talking to that you really like says, well, that's just not acceptable, then, and I'm going to reject you. Or I would never go out with you because of that. Just, hey, it's your fucking loss. You have to be willing to lose women that you like because they say they don't like you. I mean, I've had, if you watch my videos for a while, I tend to use profanity all the time. That's just how I talk. And when I'm in public, I say whatever's on my fucking mind. And I remember one time a few years ago, I had a client out in a nightclub, and I started cussing right away. And she said, oh, you got really bad language. You shouldn't talk that way. I was like, my attitude is, it's how I fucking talk. If people don't like it, there's 1,000 other dudes here that you can go and talk to. And then she goes, peace out. And she walked away, and the guy that was with, he's like, I can't believe you just said that. I was like, she'll probably be back. And sure enough, I was like 5-10 minutes went by, and a bunch of other girls had come by and were talking to us, and they had moved on. And then sure enough, she comes back up with her friend. And I was like, hey, it's just the way I am. You either love me as I am or you don't. And then she came up, she's playing with her hair, and it was all a test. She walked away. What would most guys do? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I won't use any more bad words. Well, okay, well, maybe I'll talk to you for a little longer as long as you promise not to curse. And then he goes along with it thinking, okay, now I haven't blown my chances. But the very fact that he just went back on who he was, he's completely ruined all of his chances with her. And so that's the power, is like, you've got to be ready for these things. Like I said, if you know who you are and what you believe in, just you can't compromise. Because if you compromise, you're going to fail a test, and you're going to lose, and you're going to blow any kind of attraction that you may have created. And so if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, or there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I have to take care of the emails from my paying phone coaching customers first, and then once I've gotten through those, then I get to all the ones I get from the internet. And if you'd like to book a paid phone coaching session with me personally so I can help you out with your specific situation or a challenge that you're having difficulty with, click the Products tab, which is located at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I'll talk to you soon.